Hey everyone, it's Ethan here again, and welcome back to Lean Revision's White Belt Define Phase Overview. I'm about to give you a more in-depth walkthrough of the Define Phase. In this phase, you want to tie your projects into your strategic business objectives. This is what is driving your projects. You want to make sure projects are generating revenue, eliminating waste, and also making your processes more efficient. You do this through a clear development and identification of the following categories. You begin by developing a business case. Then is your problem and goal statements. Then the project scope, the voice of the customer, stakeholder planning, project planning, and then last is risk planning. Now let's go into detail as I break down these steps for you. When building your business case, first and foremost, you need to know what is currently happening rather than what you want to happen. This is what we call the baseline metrics. It is essential to identify all of your customers and find where the problems are that exist in the process. You'll need to define the customers with differing needs and segment those customers. This is going to help you identify the voice of the customer. Make sure that you are identifying and focusing on delivering exactly what the customer wants. Additionally, think of all the threats and opportunities your company may face by taking on this project. Now it is time to develop your problem statement in the define phase. It is a concise statement of the problem. The statement should be able to answer who is impacted by the problem, what is wrong, where is the defect happening, when is it occurring in your process, and how large is the problem. After developing your problem statement, you're ready to create your goal statement based off your IFR, or ideal final result. Your goal must be SMART, and by SMART I mean specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. We want X to happen by the end of the month, just plain and simple. In just one or two sentences, define what is the goal and what is the benchmark. It usually starts with a verb, for example, reduce variation or increase revenue by X%. So try to start with a verb and end with a target measurement. At this point, it's time for your initial metrics. Some techniques we'll teach you in later belts include cost of poor quality, yield capacity, and process capability. As for the white belt, I'm just going to be giving you an understanding of what you're getting into when you proceed. But remember that these initial metrics will help you spot out key flaws in your systems. Cost of poor quality, known as COPQ, is what aligns with the dollar impact of the issues that you are addressing in your project. You want to understand the preventative cost, the cost to prevent errors, and appraisal cost, the cost to detect errors in your process. Internal errors are the errors that haven't made it to the customer yet. These are the things that you've caught in-house. The most crucial failures to fix are your external errors. This is when your faulty product or service reaches the customer. Now it's time for you to define all of your stakeholders affected by or involved in the project. Stakeholders may look like the ones listed here in this slide. Some stakeholders clearly are of higher importance than others, but it is important to keep a broad view to ensure success. The stakeholders could be your boss, coworkers, the government, future customers, and your team. So you want to have a communication plan in this phase. You want to be able to communicate throughout the organization what is going on in the project and who exactly is being impacted. Think about how you are going to communicate with those stakeholders at different levels. For instance, some stakeholders need to be notified daily. Some are on the project team, so they're updated. And some just need to be informed on what you are doing and when the changes happen. So this template here, you can pull down from our website at leanrevisions.com, and it will help you with your communication plan for the project. You want to select your project team after you define the project and identify the stakeholders. Team members should be current and/or future leaders within the organization. Ideally, they'll be subject matter experts about the process and procedures. The team should have a master black belt, or at a minimum a black belt, to help coach the team, especially if you're at the beginning of your Lean Six Sigma implementations. So once you select that team, those upper level belts will will help you stay on track and teach you along the way. Additionally, you want to look at the risk of doing this project and plan out ways to mitigate that risk. There are three main factors for any potential roadblocks. The first is the likelihood that an issue will occur. Next is the severity or impact that an issue would cause if it occurs. And last is the likelihood that you would be able to spot out that issue if it occurred to prevent further damage. We have something called a risk prioritization template that you can use in understanding the legal risk, the risk to the customers, and the potential things that could be a hazard to the project. The risk mitigation template is also included on our website for you to download and assess your risk. The next step is to map out your process. If you look at this template here, we have 4 levels of process mapping. The high level is a very strategic look at the overall organization. Then we get down to the end-to-end business process. Now we take a deeper look into the individual steps in the business process. This is where we can begin to identify which processes are impacting performance. And then last, we want to get into a really micro level detail because this is where we're going to start measuring and identifying potential root causes that are creating variation and problems in your process. You want to get down to a very detailed level process map when executing your projects. Some types of process maps that you may have heard of include the swim lane map as shown in this image. Also, SIPOC, which is an acronym for suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, and customers. And additionally, a value stream map. Each of these are tools to identify flaws in the process of your business. After process mapping, you want to use the voice of the customer, known as VOC. VOC describes customers' perceptions of the product and services. VOC provides insights into stated and unstated customer needs or requirements. VOC helps to decide where to focus improvement efforts and understand key drivers of customer satisfaction. It is also used to evaluate critical features and specifications for products and services. Be sure to use a segmented customer list and address each one of those segments. You want to translate the voice of the customer information into measurable targets. You do not want subjective criteria. You want measurable criteria so you can keep track of it and control it throughout your projects, improvements, and sustainment efforts. So translating the voice of the customer into measurable information is critical to the success of your project. In the define phase, as you see, there are a lot of things to do. Understanding your charter, identifying stakeholders, defining your goal and end result, mapping the process, and making sure that everything is tied into the VOC, which will help you improve the process, generate revenue, reduce variation, lean out your process, and ensure success. Now, let's take a few minutes to conduct a quick knowledge check. Question 1. When building your business case, first and foremost, you need to know what is currently happening. True or false? The correct answer here is true. Question 2. Cost of poor quality, known as COPQ, aligns with the dollar impact of the issues that you are addressing with your improvement project. True or false? The correct answer is true. Question 3. The high-level process map is a very strategic look at the overall organization. True or false? The correct answer is true. Question 4 is, VOC provides insights into stated and unstated customer needs or requirements. True or false? Once again, the correct answer is true. Question 5. Stakeholders could be your boss, coworkers, the government, future customers, and your team. True or false? You guessed it. The correct answer is once again true. The next phase is measure. Join me as I continue taking you through the White Belt Lean Six Sigma overview. I'm Ethan Liggett here at Leaner Visions. Thank you very much.